Everybody, video here for you today. This is something I looked into in February or March when some news stories came out. I did not include it in my ancient history news videos, and I thought, well, I'll make an individual video on this someday. Then I totally forgot about it. Message recently got me to remember this. We're going to go down to Crete today. This is the ancient city of Olous right down here. Right down here, an ancient city on the island of Crete that has slipped beneath the waves. Submerged city here that goes back at least 2,800 years, right down in this area, right down here. Here's an article that came out earlier this year. Underwater research in ancient Olous on Crete offers insight. I will leave this link below. Just reading here, it says remnants of ancient buildings as well as parts of fortifications have been uncovered during underwater excavations at the ancient city of Olous on Crete, the Greek Culture Ministry announced. Volunteer divers, archaeologists, and geophysicists from the Fourth Institute of Mediterranean Studies participated in the excavations on the sunken city, which is located near the present-day popular resort town of Elounda. The research was carried out in October 2019 and is part of a 5-year program which kicked off in 2017. Underwater studies focus on the coasts of Elounda Bay and the Kolokitha Peninsula and on submerged structures on both sides of Poros, where the urban center of the ancient city was located. Other finds include a loading platform, ship ballast, anchors, remnants of Byzantine and 20th century shipwrecks. Here's another story from earlier this year. Crete's ancient sunken city of Olous gives up more secrets. They have a little story here. Here's a diver exploring the ancient ruins down here. It says, for those unfamiliar, Olous was one of the most important Dorian cities of ancient Crete, with more than 30,000 inhabitants. The city disappeared either because of a landslide or as a result of a large earthquake that happened in 780 AD. Here's an ancient mosaic they found before this city slipped beneath the sea. But part of this area here, where this ancient city once existed, is still on dry land. Under the water here, they're getting a pretty good idea how the town was laid out. Individual homes, communal centers, stuff like that. But here's another look at some ruins under the water. Now, I just found another really good website with some new technology, but I think we can pinpoint these ruins to right in here. Let's go over to a website here. Here are the ancient ruins of Olous underneath the waters here, in the shallow waters. This is called electrical resistivity tomography, called ERT, and it allows researchers to examine ruins in very shallow waters. That's pretty cool. Here's another link I will leave below. It shows here on their main page the mosaic with the fish and the birds depicted. Here's some of the stonework down here. Very, very large. The city supposedly got started around 2,800 years ago, but it was probably recouping after Santorini went off about 3,600 years ago. That had to be devastating to Crete. So how far back in time do the original foundations of this city go? Well, that's a good question, but right there you see some megalithic blocks. Here's a little waterway, and I guess this canal even has evidence of underwater ruins in it. Now, based on what the divers find, they can do some virtual reconstruction. I think that's what they're doing in this pic right here. Some more ruins found beneath the sea. Is that an eye and a mouth right there, or am I just seeing things? Here's another look at the area, some ruins going out into the water here. I want to thank Roger for sending me the message, and it just made me recall some news stories that came out earlier in the spring. Here's a website called Traveling Classroom. They give a look at the beaches here. An old bridge nearby, near the bay. These are called Venetian salt pans, and they provided a valuable product here. Here's an ancient wall that's just the top of it sticking out of the water. Here's some of those ruins. The water isn't very deep here where these ruins are, maybe about 20 feet. This article also included a look at ancient Pablo Petri in Greece, found just beneath the waves. Did a video on this maybe 3 months ago. I will leave the link for that video below. But I think we are realizing how important underwater archaeology is. Places got flooded a long time ago. I think we're going to make some great finds underwater, because that's where the secrets lie. Here's a diagram, how they think this place slipped into the sea. Sliding movements as sediments liquefy, downward movements along the fault. So that is pretty interesting. I believe that is how Heraclion in Egypt slipped into the sea by Alexandria. I cannot find the exact date when this place sank beneath the sea. Some places say 780 AD. Here it says the 2nd century AD. So I guess they're not really positive for sure. But as far as the dating on the city itself, it says the earliest evidence for settlement dates from the Archaic period, lasting from the 8th century BC to the Second Persian invasion of Greece about 480 BC, with some earlier Minoan tombs in the wider area. And a couple other websites say this dates back to Minoan times, which goes back, I believe, about 5,000 years. So was this city built on top of something older that was here, maybe destroyed when the eruption of Santorini went off? Well, that's a question I ask. I just thought I would talk about this today. Some of these ruins still on land, but good archaeological work is going on in different places in the world. This is one of them here. Ancient Olous found under the water. How far back do some of these ruins go? And oh my goodness, I need a drink of water. My mouth is getting really dry. Just consequences of living in the desert, I guess. But those ruins right there, they look pretty cool. That is a video on ancient Olous found on Crete here. I've not talked about Crete for a long time. Question on Crete, so I just thought I'd do that video today. Some relatively new news stories. That's a story. Maybe some of you have never heard of that place. Hope thought that was cool, and you all have a very safe day.